Okay, so we have the we have the persistent and courageous among us. uh, Glad that you're up for another hour. This is intense, but it's intense in kind of a subtle way. And I just want to mention that you, you're going to want to pay a little bit of attention after is over, this retreat. Please don't work too hard or make any big decisions or get into any conflicts if you can avoid it, because you know you're not normal. I mean, you're in a somewhat expanded state of consciousness, and so you just want to be, treat yourself gently, and don't put a lot of stress on yourself, at least for a while, if you can avoid it. The last part, we're going to do some practices that have to do with refining the qi, and I just want to mention just a little about what this is. So, according to the Taoist teachings, our consciousness extends, and this is backed up by brain science, all the way from the first one-celled animal or plant to the highest awakened beings that there are, and that this is all available to us. So we have the triune brain, we have the reptilian brain, and we have the mammalian brain, and we have the prefrontal cortex, which is evolved much later, which really makes us human. We're not the only animals that have that, but we're the ones who are doing Qigong. So the prefrontal cortex evolves, it develops, and you probably know this from neuroscience, that the brain is constantly changing, and it's capable of physically restructuring itself. And so the more refined qualities of the qi are what they call the qualities of the bodhisattva. So these are the qualities of people who are operating out of a more of an awakened consciousness. And the qualities are generosity, kindness, wisdom, patience, persistence, energy, joy, equanimity. These kinds of qualities are found in the more refined qi, that would say the more refined parts of the brain. And so by practicing Qigong, for those of us who are very oriented toward the body, which is certainly not everybody, it's just some people, we really can learn this through the body, through these practices. And what they call refining the qi, we will call just developing qualities of kindness and wisdom, basically. And they just saw this in a little bit different way. And the very notion that we can develop these qualities through these physical movements and practices is the genius of the Qigong. And it, like I say, it doesn't speak to everybody. It only speaks to certain people who really learn through their bodies a lot. Everyone does, but some more than others. So that's the refining the qi part of all this. Okay. Any questions or comments about any of that? There's just a few of us here, so we can focus on something if you have something up. Okay, ready to go. Okay, all right, great. Oops. Need to put this on speaker. There we go. So we want the body to remain as loose and supple as we can, because what the ancients would say is that allows the chi to flow. Well, where does the chi flow? Does it flow in the veins, or does it flow in the nerves, or where does it flow? And scientists are still working on this. Qigong works, and acupuncture works for a lot of things. Certainly not everything. But they don't really completely understand the acupuncture meridians or how that works. But I'm sure they will. It has to do with moving through consciousness, I'm sure. So rather than just setting into a posture, just sort of ease the body into whatever posture we're starting. And if you're a sitting meditator, you don't just sit, you sit and then just gently, ease the body into the posture. We need the body. we need it. We need it on our side. So let's begin with a few of the crane movements. I'm going to start with crane walks the riverbank. Okay, and so there's hand movements and legs. So just starting with say one hand, bring it up, and then back, up, and then back. We sort of tend to concentrate on the up, but the back is just as important. We move it behind the body, and then so we do them both at once. Okay. So those are the arm movements. Okay. And then the leg movements would do the balancing. So you shift onto the left, lift the right, place it back down, shift the right, lift the left. Okay. So it's walking in place. And we're doing it slowly. Okay, now we're going to lift the opposite hand from the leg. So whatever leg you lift the opposite hand. Okay, and then shift. Now remember that hand's continuing behind you. Okay, so this is crane walks the riverbank. It's actually a very complex move. And the thing is, don't get hung up on doing this fast. You don't want to lift that foot until you're very stable. And then do this with the breath. In breath, out breath. If you're a little tippy, then sink the knee, bend the knee a little more. And do this with your eyes open, cast down. Okay. I'm showing you this because this is very beneficial for many reasons. Your balance is one, but moving opposite limbs like this somehow is very beneficial for the brain. It balances the hemispheres of the brain, right and left. Okay, so crane walks the riverbank. Okay, let's just reduce the hand movements. And then just shift the weight. So if you practice walking meditation, if you do it as a practice or if you go on retreat, and when you're doing walking meditation, you can do these crane hands just a little bit. And it really increases your concentration. because you can do it backwards too. Because we have so many nerve endings in our hands, we really pay attention to our hands. So if we're doing walking meditation, our hands are like this or just at our sides or whatever, that's fine. But if we include the hands just a little bit, it brings full concentration to that walking meditation practice right away. It's very powerful. You know, even if you're on a long walk or whatever, you just bring the hands in just a little, and immediately it'll bring your attention into the body. Oh, the hands are moving. Something's going on here. The tension comes into the body. So that's crane walks the riverbank. Like that one, this isn't exactly a crane, it's a pheasant a little bit. So this could be crane stands on one leg, it's golden pheasant stands on one leg, some kind of big bird, doesn't matter. We did this at the very beginning. This is extremely beneficial for your balance. And this is a meditation posture as well. You just sink into this posture and take 5 deep breaths. And like I say, if even 3 years from now, if you don't really remember this retreat, but if you do just these simple practices, your balance will be good. Your balance can actually improve with age. We lose muscle mass and so on, but we don't lose balance. We can actually make it better. And this can just save you a world of pain. Okay, very good, very good. And you don't have to do it every day, even if you just do it once a week. But if you don't, your balance will deteriorate. Okay, now flying cranes. The basic flying crane is just in breath, out breath. And you can do this with a lot of gusto. Way up, sit way down, don't bend forward. Sit way down, come up. Okay, so this is just the outward, the flying crane, outward expression. Now the internal crane is this. Palms are facing the body. This freedom, and then this concentration in the body. You can touch the thumb to the middle finger, if you like, as you come up, or to both fingers. That's called crane's beak. And then as you're coming down, they call this stroking the silk curtains. So it's not just, okay, I'm doing this movement. Okay, now I'm getting ready to do, no. You're stroking silk curtains on your way down. And of course, you're doing this with the breath. In breath, out breath. Okay, now there's another variation here. You come up and then you just come partly down. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just doing this movement in this way brings a feeling of gentleness, kindness, attention. I'm here and I'm connected. I'm moving with the breath. The breath is moving my body. This body is in harmony with the breath, which is universal force. All living things are breathing. When we move in harmony with our breath, we're moving in harmony with breath itself, with coming and going, with birth and death, with yin and yang. We're in harmony, body, breath, and mind. We do these kinds of movements, we're less likely to be impetuous, to be clumsy, to be violent. Because we know what this feels like. We produce and consume our experience, our feelings. Moving gently, flowingly, harmoniously. Okay, let's do one more. And then this is the stopping point. Now, early in the practice, you can place your hands right on your body. That brings your attention right into the body. After you've practiced for a while, that it's not so comfortable. So you want to have the hands slightly away, because we're actually feeling the field of the body, the field of the hand, the field of the body. The field, I mean, the heat, the electromagnetic energy, the sense of proximity. Now this position with hands on the body, this is the sleep position. We're lying down at night going to sleep. This is also a lying down meditation position. Okay, so the lower hand, this is over the lower dantian. This is in touch with the ancestors, with the earth, back through time. The other hand on the heart, this is in connection with the heart and the lungs. The lungs are the interconnection between the inside the body and the outside. And this is our connection to our relationships, to the manifest realm. So when we do this, we're connecting back through time and out through space. and the body is reassured by the presence of the hands. Remember, there's consciousness in the hands. Some artistic images, there's an eye in the hand. And it just means that our mind is very aware of where our hands are. So this is, if you're awake at night, you can't get to sleep, you might try this position. And then you can feel the breath in the belly and in the chest. And you can combine body, breath, and mind. Okay. So I'd like to do some movements that are a little more vigorous now. We've been sedentary quite a bit. So now, so we're going into this position. You're going to focus on the lower hand. The lower hand is going to go out diagonally, and the eyes are going to follow it. Okay. So, and the eyes are focused between the thumb and the index finger. Okay. And the upper hand is going to go back. Okay. Upper hand here. Good. Now we'll do them at the same time. And we're looking at the upper hand. And this is up at the level of our eyes, or a little higher. This is back behind us. Okay. So now we're going to turn in the direction of the lower hand. So turn and come back. We're going to turn the waist, turn, shift the weight. So in Taiji, this is a strike with the left hand and a block with the right hand. So there's energy to it. So like this. Okay. This is called diagonal flying. Okay. So now let's do it gently. Okay, very good. And that's to that side. Okay. Now switching the hands, do it to the other side. Okay, ready? So we're going to wind up and then send the hands out. And then we're going to come back the opposite way. And we're going to wind up, send the hands out. Come back. Wind up, send out. Come back. Wind up, send out. So there's a rocking back and forth. There's a winding up and then a releasing. A diagonal flying. This is an expression of freedom. It's just very loose. It's beautiful. And the eye follows the hand. And we want to do this with the breath. Okay, very good. Let's do a couple more. Okay, very good. Let's go into just briefly go into some of the standing meditation postures. Sometimes we want to meditate. We're used to meditating a certain time or whatever. We just don't feel like it. We don't want to sit down. So we've done the standing posture, standing number 1. Okay, the next one, there's 5. The next one, dip the knees. So this is standing posture 2. Okay, it's called embracing the moon. So there's the crescent moon. Here the fingers and thumbs are lined up. And there's the full moon here. And these standing postures become a little stressful. And that's the point. We want to be able to attain a feeling of ease, even when things are a little difficult. And the more we're able to remain in this feeling of ease in increasingly difficult situations, the stronger our practice is. So we're just putting a little tiny bit of stress, holding up the hands. And in this position, you can feel the movement of the body, the breath. The way to practice these standing postures, you can use a timer if you want to, or you can count breaths. So perhaps about 12 breaths a minute. So if you hold this for 24 breaths, or however many you want. These standing postures have a way of bringing us into concentration right away. Relax the body. And let's go into the next one. The next one is window to the moon. A little bit more challenging. We're going to be looking through the triangle of our hands. If you like the visualization, it's the full moon is shining its light through the hands and into the head and down through the body. And in this position, we want our shoulders to be loose. The shoulders may tend to begin to ache a little bit. And there are many different strategies for dealing with it, but basically, it's okay. It's okay that it's a little bit hard. We can do it. You may involuntarily smile when you're doing these practices. I do these with guys in prison. Some of these guys who are full of muscles and way younger than me, and they can't do it because it's in the mind. Of course they can do it. They're just uncomfortable with being uncomfortable. I say to them, you just hold, your arms aren't going to fall off. You're not going to get hurt. You can do it. And they do because they're embarrassed that this old guy is doing it, and them with all their muscles that can't do it. It's all mental. Okay, the next one, dip the knees. We're just going to turn the hands up. It's the same thing, but it's at the crown of the head now, window to the stars. And so the light of the sun, the moon, the stars coming down into the hands, coming down into the head, filling the body. Just a little bit more difficult, and that's okay. I said at the beginning, Qigong is about feeling good. And there's a deeper level of feeling good that's beneath this little temporary discomfort. There's a deeper happiness or joy in doing these practices. And you really feel that light that comes in. You feel the body respond. You feel the aliveness in the body. There's a deeper happiness. It's not dependent upon convenience or comfort. Although there's nothing wrong with those things. Okay, and dipping the knees again and bring the hands around. And the last posture is the arms are, the fingertips, the fingers are straight all the way to the shoulder. The arm is straight, not rigid, but the palms are at an angle to the ground. Okay, very good. Go ahead and let go of that. And now let's take our seat. And then again, just sort of gently move the body until it finds that posture. So after all of this practice, it's a good time to do the shikantaza meditation. So this is just a concentration on emptiness, on boundlessness. Just aware of infinite space. There's no end, there's no objects, and just boundlessness in all directions. And then just let the reference point in the center, let it disappear. And the feeling quality of boundlessness is the tingling in the body. And other meditations that you can do, it's very beneficial to imagine any of the movements that we've done. It's almost as beneficial as physically doing that. So for instance, using the breath, you can imagine flying crane. And that engages the feeling sense in the body. The memory engages the body in the meditation. Or any of the other practices we've done. You can remember doing them. Imagine doing them. And the final meditation practice with the out breath, let's extend our sense of touch all around the body, so beyond the skin. Kind of feel the space around the body. When we breathe out, we extend our awareness farther in all directions. So we have this sense of this bigger presence that the physical body is part of. This is our expanded consciousness. It's It's connected to all the consciousness and the living beings in the world. This is what we die into when the physical body dies. There are no longer blockages to this. And this is the consciousness that manifests into form and dissolves into boundlessness. Coming and going moment to moment. Very rapidly. In gratitude for these practices handed down to us from generations of practitioners. In gratitude for the movement of nature within us and around us. In gratitude for our connection to all things. We humbly dedicate this practice to the ocean of goodness in the world. Aware that our body, our consciousness is intimately connected to the body and consciousness of all beings. Just taking a few more breaths and loosening up your body. Okay, we'll go into our closing sequence. So on the count of 3, we'll clap one time together. 1, 2, 3. Rub your hands, make heat. And massage your eye sockets, but don't touch your eyeballs. And massage your scalp, temples. Jaw. Tug on your ears. And make loose fists and tap your kidneys. And massage your kidneys. Okay, Well, be very kind to yourself. Take care of yourself. Thank you so much for your practice, for your presence. And if you'd like to drift away, please do. If you want to stay for a few minutes for questions and comments, we can do that.
I just thank you ever so much for your energy today. One of the things, many things I appreciate about Qigong is the subtlety of the practice and the graceful movements, the cranes, the balancing, do wonders for the brain, I'm sure, but I feel it in the balance of my body, not just my brain health, but just the balance and energy of my body just slows down, and I just can't I just can't underestimate just the simple practices of movement and its effect on our energy. Just a little bit every day, right?
A little bit every day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great to see you, Lavinia. Great. And,
Yeah.
and, you know, many of you know there's a Wednesday night class that's from 6 to 7. So if you want a little support in your practice, otherwise there's the YouTube videos. Just put in, you know, my name, Breathing Earth Qigong, and there's, I don't know, hundreds of them. So if you want support in your practice, you can use it. So great to see you again, Lavinia. I'm glad you enjoyed it and stayed the whole time.
I have a Wednesday night class now, so until mid-December, I'm sort of out of pocket, but I do follow up with the YouTube, so I appreciate those as always. But
right.
Hopefully I'll get back to being live Wednesdays pretty soon.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Keep at it.
Steve, Carol here.
Hi,
For your
Carol.
Wednesday class, do you do it on Zoom?
Yeah.
And can you send that link to me?
Oh,
I
sure.
got through the first hour and it was quite wonderful until my back overcame my pleasure and interest.
Sure.
But how long? Your class is an hour, so I could probably do that.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
I will send you that, Carol.
Thank you very much.
Stephen, Warren here. Thank you so much. This was a beautiful morning. I felt better and better as the day went on. It was very difficult at first, and then it became easier, more renewing. I have a sort of practical question. How do we practice this at home? I mean, on a daily or several times a week or weekly? Any suggestions for?
I suggest daily practice, particularly if you have a meditation practice. You can do Qigong prior to sitting, but you know, anytime regularly. I'm not really rigid about all this. You can practice just at odd moments, just by taking a breath or two, and a lot of this will come back. The physical things like balance, and loosening up the body. I think that needs to be done once a week, just to keep the body in tune, so that we don't lose mobility. But really, any of these other practices, once you do a few of them, you realize that this is just about your feedback. You know, it's just about, how does this make my body feel when I do this movement or when I do that movement? And we tend to change the movements to suit our body type and however we're feeling at the time, and just totally feel free to do that, because this is just one kind of Qigong. There are thousands of kinds of Qigong, and you might want to explore some other lineages or teachers to see what works for you. But I just encourage you to practice as much as you can, to a point, of course, but to practice from time to time, and you'll want to, because it feels good, rather than being obligated, feeling like you're obligated to.
So we can just choose an exercise that we feel comfortable with at the time. And
Yeah, I mean, if it's late at night, you may not want to do something that's real vigorous, that's going to wake you up. If it's early in the morning, you might want to. So, adjust what you do. The first one we did is called morning Qigong, but it can be done at night. My class is at night, and I teach these things at night too. So one thing I would say though, and if you can get outdoors, and not great time of year to be doing that, but if you can practice by the sea or by a big tree, or in your backyard, or wherever if you can practice outdoors, it's really more powerful, I would say.
thank you.
Yeah, thanks for showing up.
This is Tracy.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi, everybody. Steve, I just wanted to really thank you too, because even though I've been doing the hourly ones Wednesday night, this was just so beneficial for me, because as the morning